and welcome to this episode of Cannesversations. I'm your host, Stephanie Beach, and I'm with Tara from BCG Worldwide. Welcome.
Hi, thank you
How
for having
are
me.
you?
I'm great.
How is the conference treating you?
It's good. I'm getting my steps in, that's for sure.
Right? I know, for real. It's been such a whirlwind.
Yes.
I feel like even though it's doubled in size and there's so many more people here, I do like that it's a little more spread out because it doesn't feel so packed.
Right.
But there's just so much to see.
Yeah, I can't imagine. This is my first possible.
Okay.
I cannot imagine what it was like just in one venue.
It was intense.
It's, as it is, it's intense. It's very different than Cannes, where it feels like it's much more spread out across multiple, venues, and so you don't get that level of intensity the second that you walk in the lobby of the hotel. But it's been amazing. There's just been so many good conversations, agency supportive conversations, but also a lot of good insight into how clients are now thinking. So that's kind of been my favorite part of the conference so far.
I like that. Yeah. That's really good. Any sessions or anything specific that kind of sticks out to you?
Yeah, there were two, actually. So Mark Kirkham, CMO of Pepsi, did a great interview with the Walmart retail advertising. So it was all about retail marketing. And he dropped a gem where it's like the funnel is blown up. There is no kind of linear funnel strategy anymore. People are entering the funnel at different places, and you have to really be able to meet them at those places with the messages that they need to receive. And so I thought that was, it's a conversation that we often have with clients, and clients are like, well, are you upper funnel? Are you mid funnel? We're really more focused on bottom funnel. And so I just thought that was super insightful. And then there was one, I think it was yesterday, or it may have been this morning. I'm completely...
I know, it's day 3, so it's a lot.
Exactly, a lot. But it was a conversation with Michael Kazin and Jeff Green at Trade Desk, where I loved that he was the one that was saying this. And again, it's to this agency supportive kind of environment that I felt like we're having, where he was saying that, everyone is so focused and on price and cost and, trying to eliminate any margin that agencies and, or vendors are able to achieve. And he said, but no one's really talking about value and what is the value of the services. And that's the conversation that we should be having. And so those were my kind of, I was like, oh, okay, people are dropping gems if possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is really good. And a little bit switching it up of the conversation, but it's very relevant and gives you something different to think about.
Absolutely.
So, hot topic is also AI.
Absolutely. Always.
Always, right? I feel like it's something that we've been talking about so much the last few years. And really now it's kind of shifted to what's real and what's not. Mm-hmm. What percentage of online traffic do you think is not human?
Based on the comments that I see, it feels like a lot of it. I mean, my guess would be 50%.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of mixed answers, but a lot of people think it's either really high, and some people are like super low.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see.
Who's saying super low?
I know some people are like, they don't really think it's as much as we think it is, but I guess we'll see.
Okay.
So is high click-through rate still a win if you can't verify who or what clicked?
Well, that's an interesting question. You're right. I mean, well, for us, what we are seeing is that click-through rate is really only one measure of performance, right? One of the other, I was on a session where people were talking about signals and how do you identify what the right signals are for the different messages. And so I think that has been an over-reliance on click-through rate. And I think that you're right, because of the fact that not all the traffic is real traffic. A lot of people can kind of juice the click-through.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, right? Because I feel like click-through rate is a real metric,
right?
But it's also a vanity metric, right? And we were skeptical of it before AI, and now I think it's just going to be a little bit more like, Well,
and also it's just one measure, because if you have a high click-through rate, and we do the same thing in case studies and all that, and it's like benchmark was this, we were here. But if you're not actually driving growth for the brand, if that doesn't result in some kind of transaction,
right,
then what
what's the
difference
point?
does it make?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, usually like we'll use it as like a metric if something is wrong. Like, okay, we have a high click-through rate, but we're not converting.
Yes.
Where's the disconnect?
And that's, again, the signals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's something brands think they understand about performance, but don't really?
I would say, and this is, again, I'm going to quote someone else, is that the funnel is not linear. And that I think that a lot of clients have overcorrected, and I understand why, have overcorrected to performance media and don't really there's no brand connections. And so if you're thinking about long-term fandom amongst and there's been a lot of conversation about fandom here over the last couple of days. When you're thinking about long-term fandom is a brand metric, right? You want to be able to create communities around your brand. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate kind of long-term buyer behavior.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's been a bit of an overcorrection to performance, with the brand being the one thing that's being sacrificed.
Yeah, I think it is. Brands have it rough right now.
Yeah.
I mean, publishers have it rough too.
Right.
But brands have it rough because they're trying so hard to stay connected, to stay relevant, to create trust, to create some type of emotional connection, to drive sales, to get new clients, like all of these things. And they look to us for that guidance. And things like this help us stay informed of that. But it's not an easy balance.
No, it's not. And CMOs have it really hard, because, and again, that's saying I understand the overcorrection to performance when the life cycle for most CMOs in a position is less than 24 months. And it's like, okay, we need to actually show that we are moving the needle. But what is then sacrificed? And so that's why I think it's interesting for brands that have a CMO and a CBO, where those folks work together. So we're in a tough business now, guys.
But it's fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Where do you see clients optimizing towards the wrong things?
Well, I would say that every client is asking us, and not even clients, because the clients, we have open communication about the tools that we're developing. I do think that there is an overcorrection to AI.
Yeah.
And the actual understanding of AI is really low in comparison to the amount of conversation around AI. And so where there is an expectation by clients that AI is going to mean I should get something cheaper. And that is it's a big misconception.
It's a big misconception.
And yes, obviously we're much more efficient. We can do more with less. We're able to get to answers quicker. Absolutely 100%. But it doesn't necessarily mean there's infrastructure costs. I mean, we've had clients that in pitches are like, well, what's your AI plan? Cool. We go through that. Great. You're hired. And then it's, well, no, we don't pay tech fees. And it's like, well, wait a second. You literally, AI was kind of the linchpin in us getting the business, but you don't want to pay the tech fee. How does that work? And so it just is, I think there's a lack of, maybe overcorrection is not the right word, but is certainly a lack of understanding.
Yeah. I mean, I think in our world, in our business forever, while we're always learning, and I love that, we're always educating too.
Yes. Yeah.
We're always educating the clients. And sometimes it's a easier fight, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And they get it or they're open to it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's a struggle.
Right. I think that and I think, again, because a lot of the, CMO conversations that we're having, they are under tremendous amount of pressure as well. So, it is truly a relationship, right? And trying to understand what both parties are coming from is the only way that the relationship can be successful.
Overrated or underrated, AI in marketing?
Underrated.
Okay. Safe bet or risky bet? AI agents making purchases.
Oh, God. Risky bet.
Risky. One thing that matters more than people think?
Humans.
I love that answer. I do. I love that answer because it's so true.
Yeah.
The connections, the human aspect of things, just meeting people and being out. And we crave that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. the first thing we did in creating our AI policy was talk about values. Like, what are the company values that we're going to be bringing to it? And those can't be absent from AI. And one of the things was we have to make sure that there's always a human in the process, and nothing is ever 100% automated without some level of human intelligence.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so fun.
Yes,
thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Human, for making this possible. No pun intended. And I hope you guys tune into the next episode. Bye.